Well, hello everybody. How are you doing today? I certainly hope you're doing very well. And I tell you what, I'm doing quite well myself. Glad to be back with you once again on this beautiful day. And here we are now coming up to spring. And I know you all are ready for that because spring brings forth new life, new hope, and new beginnings. And oh, I tell you, I'm very excited about that. And I know you are too. First, I would like to say thank you very much for tuning in to me today. I really do appreciate it. And I would like to welcome you to another episode of TJ's Topics. That's right. I'm just so glad to be with you. I consider it a joy, an honor, and a privilege to be able to come into your presence on any given occasion. It means a lot to me. Now, if you tuned in to me last time, you'll recall that we were talking about Donald Trump. And oh, I tell you, he is a booger bear. Oh man, probably the absolute worst president in the history of this country. I don't think anything that any other president who came before him has done was worse than what this man has done. I mean, he is literally wreaking havoc on the United States, and the entire world sees it. Now, how about MAGA? Do you think MAGA sees it? Hell no. They don't see it because they're part of it. So no, they don't see the terrible things that are happening in this country as a result of this administration. Instead, they see Donald Trump as a deity of sorts. They see him as being the closest thing to Jesus Christ. They put Trump on the same level as Christ himself, and that's really sad. And so that's what I'm here to talk about today. We're going to discuss that for a few minutes. Donald Trump is really Orange Jesus. I know that sounds mighty crazy. Pretty stupid, you might consider, but it's the truth anyhow. Donald Trump is really Orange Jesus. And he would be considered Jesus by those who is in his inner circle, like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert and and a whole bunch of those other goons and and nutcases in the White House and in Washington. And then people all across this country who voted for him and thinking that he was going to be the answer to their prayers. They think, or at least they thought, that Trump was going to be the one to solve all their problems. But instead, I think they're starting to see now where he has caused them more problems and has yet to solve any. Because look, grocery prices are still going up. We still have this egg shortage, and we know the bird flu has been a part of it. But he ran when he campaigned, he said that he was going to come in there lowering the cost of groceries. And that's what people voted for him for, thinking that he was going to lower the cost of groceries and do all these other miraculous things that he claimed he was going to do. So the way I see it, yeah, they put him on this platform, this huge pedestal, just as they would someone whom they consider to be their personal Lord and Savior, and now they want to talk bad about woke this and woke that, people, woke policies and what have you, even going as far as saying that Jesus, the Jesus of the Bible, may be too woke for America. And he wouldn't be welcome in this country if he ever showed up. Meanwhile, we have a president who is sort of elevated to the standard of Christ. Because now, Christ, whom we've read about in the scriptures, was all for helping the poor. He wasn't for injustice and inequality, unfairness. Those are not the things that Christ was in favor of. In fact, if you read throughout the New Testament and everything where it talks about Jesus, you will see where he was more of a person who stood firm on and highly favored DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. But now we have an administration who doesn't seem to care for that. Diversity, nah. Equity, nah. Inclusion, no. If you are part of any minority group in this country, be it a person of color, African American, or anybody of color, Hispanic, Latino, Asian, if you're from the Middle East, East Indian, or if you're from, Iraq, Iran, any of those countries, nah, they don't care for you. If you're a Muslim, nope. And if you're LGBTQ, oh, they definitely don't care for you. They sure enough don't care for you. Because they don't want any rainbows to be anywhere. They don't want any of the pretty colors and all of this and that, the parades, pride parades, anything like that. They don't want that to be anywhere in the picture. So, but they do want anything that has to do with the elevation of Trump to be in the picture. You can put him on a piece of money if you want to, like they're talking about putting one of those congressmen who was a MAGA person is trying to draw up a bill now to have a picture of Donald Trump put on a brand new created bill, a $250 bill. They want to put his face on there. But now, a few years ago, they were talking about putting Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill. And we see that has yet to manifest. That has never came into fruition. It has never materialized. And I doubt very seriously that it ever will. So I tell you, it is a mess. But, and what do you think about these evangelicals, in these mega churches? They go so far as to try to tell people. Now, this is what they'll say. They say, if you want to know who to vote for, vote the Bible. Vote for right and stand for what's right. But what they're really saying is vote Republican, because the evangelical church is predominantly Republican, the GOP party. They want you to vote for Donald Trump. And then you even got some black churches in this country who say the same thing. You got black preachers out here and black politicians, community leaders and stuff. They are preaching that same old stuff. I mean, and I'm really embarrassed for the black church because, being a product of the black church myself, having been born and raised in it, I don't get it. I mean, how can we as a people who have suffered for hundreds of years, who have endured such hardship, and in this country, ever since back in the 15 and 1600s, And here we are now in 2025, still having to beg for rights to do this and do that, to have this and have that. And yet we want to go and vote against our own selves. I just don't get it. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And yet we want to call ourselves Christian, But what about, look, Christian nationalism? You have that on the forefront. And you got Negroes who seem to stand for that too. Failing to realize that Christian nationalism has nothing in it that favors colored people because it's not about us. I'm telling you, it's just plain stupid. Just doesn't make any sense. But that's what you got. And that's what you voted for. If you voted for Donald Trump back here in November, you voted for all this. And you got to put up with it until the end of this term. So it is what it is. Donald Trump is really Orange Jesus. And so as we approach this Resurrection Sunday, which will be coming up in April, which is only weeks away, when they get ready to put out the eggs and the baskets, and when they go to talking about heroes, don't say anything about Christ in the Bible. Say something about Donald Trump, because Trump is the one who rose. He rose back to power by being the president of the United States for a second term. So Trump is your Jesus. LD. All right, this concludes our discussion for today. And I hope that you had a good time as I had a good time with you. So be sure to tune in again to me. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share with whoever you wish. And I look forward to seeing you again for another episode of TJ's Topics, okay? I look forward to seeing you again. This is Taryn Jerome Harris, reminding you that every round goes higher and higher. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.